historical recipes. The thing about written down historical recipes is the further you go back in time, the less these recipes represent what normal people, common people, ate every day. Because only the extraordinary, the special dishes were deemed worthy to be written down. And the same is true for the recipe collection of Apicius, the most famous ancient Roman cookbook. It's a collection of mainly gourmet dishes, but some of these dishes are straightforward, exotic, luxury dishes. Like the one I'm going to do today. It is a sweet and sour ostrich ragu. Let's have a look at the ingredients. I have, of course, ostrich meat. Ostrich meat nowadays is much easier to get than in Roman times. Ostrich obviously was known to ancient Romans, but it certainly was not something that the average household could afford. In some regions now you can get it, but also not everywhere. So for this dish you can also easily replace it with beef. Then we have, of course, sweet and sour was a very popular taste in Roman times. This is where we have dates. We have a sweet dessert wine. Liquamen. I have discussed that several times here. Liquamen is, might have been or might not have been a special kind of garum, the famous fish sauce. But it might have also been any other kind of salty brine liquid, maybe fermented, maybe simply a concentrated meat broth, or also a kind of fermented barley sauce. It's a term that apparently has been used for many different kind of condiments. So I would propose you for this dish not to use fish sauce, but another kind of salty condiment, or even meat broth. Then as spices we have black pepper, cumin seeds, celery seeds, some fresh mint. The vegetable is leeks, a couple of leeks I have here. Then there is honey, vinegar, olive oil, and later we are going to need semolina to thicken the broth. The whole thing is going to be boiled. There will be no frying at the beginning as you would do a ragu now. First put some oil, fry the meat, then add the other ingredients, then add water. This is not happening here. Everything goes together in the pot and is simply boiled. So I start with cutting up the leeks. I add the dates. The dates are already pitted. Now I just cut them in quarters. Very good. The next ingredients are some fresh mint, just in rough pieces. A twig or so will do. We add the liquamen, whether you chose to use fish sauce, meat broth, or another kind of salty fermented condiment. 1 glass of sweet dessert wine. Then pepper. Celery seeds, cumin, now some honey, a little more, they surely liked it sweet and sour, The sweet we have. Now comes the sour. Some vinegar. This again is a very mild apple vinegar. So if you use a harsher vinegar, put some less. And of course, olive oil. A good dash. And because the whole thing is boiled and I want to make a broth in which I then boil the meat, of course I have to add water. And that whole thing I'm going to bring to a boil now. Once this mixture is boiling, we add the meat to it. Cover it again and leave it to simmer until the meat is very soft. Now that this ostrich stew is almost done, we bind the liquid, the sauce, with some semolina. Just slowly pouring it in and stirring well. Come on, a little bit more. Leave it to simmer a few more minutes and then it should be done. Sprinkle with some pepper and serve with rice. Rice was another highly luxury good in ancient Rome, as it was known to Romans, but only the very wealthy could afford it. So this is a truly exotic luxury dish from ancient Rome.